Now, this review is actually something I have filmed many months ago, but for various reasons I wanted to push it back a bit, and then in the end it turned out to be like a year. But today we will take a look at this aircraft model, which I am so very grateful that I could borrow from Tim. You might know him as HDI International Airport, because otherwise I would not be able to show you this lovely model. So let's see what it actually can offer collectors. And with that, hello and welcome to a new episode of Review, where we today will take a closer look at a McDonnell Douglas MD-11F of FedEx, the model made from 5 stars. So here at the front we have this lovely rendition or picture of the model with the FedEx Express branding. Now, it had to happen at some point, so after more than 800 reviews, I simply forgot to film the backside of the box, but luckily Tim could provide me with an image of it, although it really doesn't show that much, except for one interesting detail here. It says 49 out of 500, and I'm just speculating here if that actually is the unit within the production range. I don't have that many 5-star models, and I certainly haven't really noticed it before. If you know anything, let me know in the comment section down below. What is also worth mentioning is the fact that this aircraft model does come with a stand. And here she is, the McDonnell Douglas MD-11F in the special Panda Express livery of FedEx. So the livery is kind of self-explanatory. It basically just promotes that FedEx is transporting pandas in their aircraft. There is also a 777 out there with the Panda Express livery from FedEx, although also quite hard to find nowadays, just like this one, which is why I'm so grateful that Tim has borrowed me this so we can take a look at it together. So on the vertical stabilizer, we find the FedEx branding, of course, with the MD-11 incorporated into the stabilizer. We have the third engine, and here we of course have the silver leading edge. We have some actually not too bad detailing overall, considering that this is definitely an older model. The only thing that I'm missing here, and which is a bit of a shame, is when we look into the engine from the front, we can see there is basically no interior, so no fan blades here. On the fuselage, apart from the color scheme that is of course going down from the stabilizer onto the fuselage, we then find the full registration code of the aircraft and the flag of the United States of America. If we then move to the front of the aircraft, we can see across the fuselage the FedEx branding that is just above the main cargo hatch. But that's not the only detail we find here, because we have a plethora of small hatches, sensors, static ports, all that good stuff that we really love. And of course, we also find a panda on the aircraft, actually that we find on both sides of the fuselage. At the front, we then also, of course, find, I guess technically the name of the aircraft, I guess it's just called Panda Express. It's written just underneath the cockpit windows. We have the company slogan, the world on time, and of course the Panda Express logo as well. And since we are already around the cockpit section, let's take a look at that as well. Here we simply have the cockpit windows with the metallic edges around those, and the window wipers. But the extraordinary amount of detailing we have around the cockpit section, well, we don't quite get on the engines. Here we do have the silver leading edge and the FedEx branding, but we don't get any safety markings or any other form of hatches or prints on these. And also the physical detailing, it's not bad, but especially when we look into the front, we can see that the fan blades have been kept in the same metallic color as the silver leading edge, and that should definitely have been a darker color. Next to the Panda, just above the wings, we have the deactivated emergency exit, and that leads us straight to the wings. Let's take a look at those, starting off with the top side, where we have the different flaps, slats, and spoilers carved out quite nicely, actually, but that's pretty much the amount of detailing we get here, so mainly physical detailing. The same thing is for the underside, physical detailing. That is fine, especially considering the age of the model. The same goes for the winglets that the MD-11F has. Fine for the age of the model, but of course today I would have hoped for more refinement. It's the same story around the landing gear. For sure, that could have been more refined, but for the time this model was released, this is perfectly fine. So yeah, nothing majorly exciting, but just alright. But what is really cool is the fact that we do have a printed detail at the front landing gear. Now, how lovely is that? The belly of the aircraft, apart from this metallic stripe, well, offers us the 5-star logo and a hole in the fuselage. But as we saw, there is a stand included with this aircraft model, so it kind of makes sense and it doesn't destroy any printed details. But printed details we find on top of the fuselage in form of these antennas that have been printed on. That's actually quite lovely, something we barely see with modern day releases. And then finally, we of course also have the remaining doors to the cargo compartments, which also have been given quite the lovely amount of detailing here at the back of the aircraft, and also here at the front of the aircraft. So there we have it, the McDonnell Douglas MD-11F in the special Panda Express livery of FedEx Express, from 5 stars in scale 1 to 500, and what can we say about this aircraft model? Now, firstly, I would like to give you some information, because I've plenty of times now through this review said that some details I think are alright considering the age of the model, but the question is, how old is the model? Now, I have tried looking it up, and honestly speaking, I haven't quite found the exact date of release. I have 2 numbers basically. There's one source stating that it could be from 03, so 2003, and one saying that it is from 2005. But around the early 2000s, that is for sure the release date of this model. Now, when we then consider that and look at it, it's really not bad, because in many areas it easily beats any current date releases we get in scale 500. That's both good and sad at the same time. But there are of course places also where we do see its age. For example, the way that the horizontal stabilizer has been mounted into the fuselage. But we should not omit that we then also have some lovely printed details around that. Something again we don't get with modern day airliners. Also of course the way that the wings themselves have been slotted in from underneath. That's something we to this day still see with Happer Wings 757s, but it's not a normal thing for modern day molds. They normally have the wings slotted in from each side, which leaves away some ugly gaps. But again, this is an old aircraft model, so we shouldn't really judge it on what we see today. Except of course that when it comes to the printed detailing, is so far beyond anything we get today. I mean, the amount of details we have around the fuselage, and this is a freighter, which normally have way less details than passenger carrying aircraft. I mean, it's really extraordinary. It's really, really lovely to see work like this. And as I said, it's kind of sad and great at the same time. It's great to see details like this on a model, especially on a freighter, but it's really sad that we, over 20 years, really haven't moved anywhere since then. Now, this aircraft model is for sure really hard to find, and if you are lucky enough to find it, then to get it at a reasonable price is almost impossible. There is another FedEx MD-11 freighter model in scale 500 from Starjets, which is in the complete standard livery of FedEx, which is also quite lovely. This is also a model I have reviewed here on the channel. If you're interested, you can check it out. So that might be an alternative if you can live without the Panda Express sticker addition to the livery. But with this blast from the past, it is now time to end today's episode. If you have enjoyed this review, then feel free to leave a like. If you're new around here, why not hit subscribe? And with that, thanks so much for watching. Hope to see you soon again. I'm checking out, and bye.